How about those Chiefs? All right, baby. Hey, listen, we're back here Tuesday. Great job, man. Great job of hanging together and dominating. That's what you did tonight. And keep that feeling right here. Keep that feeling, and we just keep building on it. By the way, the big man, 7'7", get up here, dude.
Let's get it. Family on three. 1, 2, 3.
Coach, just Travis Kelce. I mean, I know you've talked about how much he worked at, getting in shape and everything, but he seems like, 2-3 years younger almost, right? In the way, I mean, his first catch, he made a nice little cut and turn. We didn't see a lot of that. I'm just curious, one, I mean, do you see that same kind of, a lot more spring in his step this year than he had last year? And two, was there maybe, I know you never talk about injuries, in the middle of things, but was he maybe battling some things that, I know everybody's dinged up and banged up during the course of the year, but was there maybe some injury things that were maybe nagging that, nobody wanted to talk about at the time, but maybe now you could reveal to us?
You're talking about last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I not that I recall, but we've been giving him a lot of Geritol, and he really has, progressed. Like, all our fans were phenomenal. It's great to have an opportunity to come back to GH Field, Arrowhead, and play in front of them. Appreciate their support. And then as far as the team went, I thought there were some really good things that took place. And as far as Josh's situation goes, it's a personal issue. I'm not going to talk about that. I did a little bit last night and then leave it at that. But I thought Jalen stepped in and did a nice job there. And as I mentioned, that it's a tribute to Andy Heck and the way he rotates all of his guys and make sure that they can play. And Jalen's played a couple different spots, both sides at the tackle, both sides at the guard. So he's busy during practice hitting all these things. But and offensively, again, it was good to see Patrick and Kelce hook up for a few nice catches there, and then getting Hollywood in the end zone. Hollywood's a good player. We got a lot of guys, and we're going to end up here adding one with Rasheed. So it's hard to get everybody going, but I thought Patrick did a nice job of getting everybody involved and spreading things around. I thought Matt Nagy had an unbelievable game plan for the guys, and they bought into it. And he and Joe kind of worked that thing together and put this thing together and come up with stuff, and with Andy Heck and the rest of the guys. So it was strong defensively. I love the transition that Spags made there. So we had a couple drives that were at the beginning, and he worked through that and kept everybody together, and made a couple little adjustments there, and guys tightened up the back end and kind of some of those gaps inside. But I thought his game plan was spot on. That's an explosive offensive group. We knew that going in. They've scored a ton of points and in all their games, and so we knew it'd be a big challenge. And I thought the guys handled that well. I thought the coaches that were involved there did a great job with it. Brendan Daly doesn't get enough credit for working with the linebackers. He's kind of stuck in the middle between the secondary and that D line. But Bolton, I thought, played really well. Got a ton of tackles in there and made some big plays that could have been extended, even though they gained a little bit of yardage. They could have been even bigger than that, and he was able to snag them. So, and then special teams wise, I mentioned it was great to get Bucker a field goal right there at the end, and he drilled that son of a gun, which was great. And we only had one punt, so Ariza didn't have a very busy day there, but did fine with it. So, and then I thought the return groups were good. Nico, again, had a couple nice returns there. So field position is always a big thing, especially against good teams. And that includes all three phases, but special teams got a lot of that responsibility. So anyways, with that, time's yours. I know he's been working like crazy. We can't, the rule states that we can't work with him, but I know he's been, as coaches, and, so, but I know he's been working out hard. And I think it's just a matter of getting him back in the swing. I'm not going to tell you, I've got to see it to kind of work through it, but I know he's in good shape. That's the one thing I do know. And I think that'll be important, him coming back in there and getting with Patrick and kind of getting on the same page as, and that whole deal. But we'll just see how all that works out. We haven't put the game plan in yet, so we're working through all that now. No, I thought he was just solid. I thought he did a nice job. It wasn't he was going against an all-pro player and 50% of the time. So it was that's a tough ask without playtime. But he handled. I love the way he handles himself during the week and how he practices fast and aggressive during the week and he doesn't. He never hangs his head that I'm not playing or done this or that. He just gets in there and bears down. And so I think that paid off for him once this thing happened. And he was solid in the run game too, run and pass. It was, he had a productive day.
And I'll have a couple as well, Sydney. Coach, just Travis Kelce. I mean, I know you've talked about how much he worked at, getting in shape and everything, but he seems like, 2-3 years younger almost, right? In the way, I mean, his first catch, he made a nice little cut and turn. We didn't see a lot of that. I'm just curious, one, I mean, do you see that same kind of, a lot more spring in his step this year than he had last year? And two, was there maybe, I know you never talk about injuries, in the middle of things, but was he maybe battling some things that, I know everybody's dinged up and banged up during the course of the year, but was there maybe some injury things that were maybe nagging that, nobody wanted to talk about at the time, but maybe now you could reveal to us?
You're talking about last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I not that I recall, but we've been giving him a lot of Geritol, and he really has, progressed. Like, yeah. So it's not the first time that was the third time they had done that this year. So we anticipated something like that possibly happening, and the guys they're good with that. I don't know if it was motivation or not, but our guys saw, they knew that they had done it before, so it wasn't a big surprise. Yeah, that was a positive, definitely. Are you talking about the drive in the second half, the first drive? No, absolutely. That's huge, and you're right. The stop before the half was also big. We ended up taking a knee there at the end, but with just a few seconds on the clock. But that drive to be able to stop him there was big, and then the drive before that where we were able to get a score was good. So, and then obviously coming out the second half, you're always striving for that. You try to come out with a purpose, and the guys did a great job of executing and getting a score. Nick, I thought the officials let the guys play. I'm not saying I agreed with everything that went on, but I thought they were very fair on how they did it, and so they could have called us on some, and they could have called them on some, and they kind of let it play out and let the teams really show off what they've got. So. Which I think is good. I think it's good for everybody. I think it's good for the fans, good for within reason, within reason. But and then, we had to tighten some things up, Nick. I mean, all 13 of those calls weren't wrong. I mean, that's not what I'm saying here. We had to tighten some things up, and I thought our guys did that. They worked on it during the week, and just making sure their fundamentals and technique were right. And half of it is moving yourself into a position where you can execute. And and so and that comes down to footwork and speed and angles. And you got to do that. I mean, those are things that you can take charge of and work on. Well, I thought Pop ran hard, and I thought he was accurate with his reads. And then when Kareem came in, I thought the same thing, powerful, and it starts with the O-line. I mean, they've got to have things rolling up front, but they played physical. Our offensive line played physical against a good defensive line. And a defensive front, because I mean those linebackers aren't tiny guys either. They're big old guys back there and physical. So, but I thought they played well. There are things we can do better all the way around. I mean, that's not there's places that we need to tighten up and make it better than what we had. But overall, I'd tell you it was a pretty good job. Jesse, I'd tell you a little bit like this is what I meant when I said after the game that they having one come back into the fold there and be able to play, and then Rasheed coming back in the building. Period. They kind of felt whole, and that's because they like each other. I mean, they get along, they hang out together, they work together on their route combinations, and they're always talking about stuff to get better there. And they've got a good friendship, which will be needed now because we got more guys and we only have one football. So you want them to help support each other, and I think that ends up being important. I think Juju has a big part of that, and he's a uniter, and he's still a tough guy and all that bit that goes with it, a good receiver, but and he's been around, so I think he keeps it all together there. Yeah, listen, I just thought I'm a big Harrison Butker fan, so I think he's a great kicker, and if not the best, one of the best clutch kickers in the National Football League. So it was just good. I know how that thing goes. I know the swing. I understand all that, and sometimes that ball looks nice and fat, and other times it looks a little tiny. And so, but the first one he didn't hit very good on the PAT, and then he came back and finished strong the rest of the night. And I thought getting a field goal in there, I think that's big. I mean, listen, we're all human, and a little pat on the back. You're being nice on that, but a nice pat on the back it was a positive. Listen. He's going to rush no matter what. I mean, he's going to run the ball. There's just times when where if something doesn't look right, or maybe there's a pressure here or there, that he's going to take off and go. And so, I mean, I get that. It's important that he does like he did last night, where he got down on the ground and not take the big hits, with the exception of one run there. He was able to get down and try to limit the hits on him. So, and then listen, I thought our guys ran the ball well. I thought they had a good night at that, and there was a mix. So when you do this RPO game, you're calling runs, but some of them turn into passes. That's the beauty of the thing, and so maybe your numbers are down just a little bit, but they end up increasing in the completions. No, I think that'll be a positive thing. They haven't been on the field together other than training camp, so it's I think they're looking forward to it, maybe even more than I'm looking forward to it. I mean, they're excited to play together. They're all those three are very close. So we'll see how it all works out. I mean, I don't have a lot of promises for you, but it'll be great to get him back going in the swing.
Travis Kelce dropped another brilliant performance during the Kansas City Chiefs win against the Detroit Lions, and the stats speak for themselves. With Taylor Swift finally back in attendance, the recently engaged Kelce dropped a brilliant performance in Week 6 of the season as he recorded 78 yards. With this, he also managed to reach a significant milestone in the Chiefs versus Lions game. Consequently, the Chiefs entered at 2-3 and third in the AFC West and left the game with a 30-17 primetime win. Travis Kelce's stats for the game include 6 receptions and 78 receiving yards, making him the difference maker in the Chiefs versus Lions game. This is his best receiving yards record since the AFC divisional round of the 2024 playoffs against the Houston Texans. Kelce managed 117 receiving yards back then. This win was key to the season after the Chiefs did not have a dream start, and he became the leader in receiving for 2 games. Apart from the win, this recent milestone also marks a momentous occasion in the Ohio native's career, as he has reached the 2nd position in the all-time list of receiving yards in primetime NFL games, surpassing Jason Witten. It seems like Travis Kelce's NFL season is right back on track, and being one of the most famous athletes in the world is not affecting his performance to the extent most expected. During his 13th season in the NFL, Kelce has posted 2 touchdowns and 321 yards on 28 receptions. However, the match with Lions also left a lot of worries despite the fact that HC Andy Reid reassured fans that the team had no injuries in the post-match press conference. Kelce caught a pass from Patrick Mahomes and looked set to reach the end zone for a touchdown, but he was tackled by Lions cornerback Rock Ya-Sin just short, and the tight end was flipped upside down before landing on his head. Fans watching the game Sunday night couldn't believe there was no check on Kelce's health. One said, "How is Kelce not being checked for concussion? He looked spacey after that head plant." Another commented, "How is Kelce not in concussion tent?" While a third posted, "Seriously, how did they not do a concussion check on Kelce after bouncing on his head?" And a fourth said, "Put Kelce in the tent. He landed on his head." Every NFL game has an independent doctor on site who has the ability to withdraw players for concussion checks. He spoke to ESPN's Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter after the win. Kelce said, "It was a short week for us, and it's always tough. This Lions team is tough, but we were fired up to experience this challenge. We went out there and put a 30 ball on that defense, and that's not an easy thing to do. I can't tell you how proud I am of these guys for finding a way to get it done. In this building, you get challenged every single week. We don't really pay attention to the record. It's all about the now, and Coach Reid does a great job of challenging us to get ready for our next opponent. When we play all 4 quarters with that kind of feel and fire, we know we're a tough team to beat." The Kansas City Chiefs are 3-3 after beating the Detroit Lions on primetime. How did their win keep them on pace to win the AFC West? The Kansas City Chiefs defended their home stadium ardently against the Detroit Lions, beating them with a score of 30-17. The stakes couldn't have been higher for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense, and they were dealing all night. Mahomes was dialed in the second they blew the first whistle. He threw 3 passing touchdowns with no interceptions, only missed 8 passes overall, and rushed for an additional 30 yards as well as a rushing touchdown. This win was important to the Chiefs for many reasons, namely the fact that they are now back to .500. The Lions' offense had been one of the most productive in the NFL heading into Arrowhead Stadium, and yet, the Chiefs' defense held them to less than 100 yards rushing and forced them to punt 3 times. This win shows that they don't have to take a drastic swing like trading for Breece Hall for this team to compete, because they've shown that even in the games they lose, they fight and compete until the very end. Another reason why this win is so important for the Chiefs is that next week, against the Las Vegas Raiders, Rashee Rice makes his anticipated debut. For another week, the Chiefs' offense looked like it was clicking on all cylinders, and they've had to make do without Rice being in the starting lineup. If the Chiefs had lost this game, one of the things they could have told themselves to justify it was that their offense still wasn't at full strength. Instead, Mahomes showed that he can get it done without his top weapons. Against a mediocre secondary like the Raiders, Rice is set for an explosive debut in 2025, with the way this Chiefs offense has been humming as of late. However, the biggest reason why this win means so much for the Chiefs is that in Week 6, every team in the AFC West won its match. If the Chiefs had lost this game to the Lions, it would have been catastrophic for their chances of winning the division, and they would have slid further down the hierarchy. Instead, the Chiefs' divisional game next week will be a great opportunity to get their get-back after losing their first divisional game of the year against the Los Angeles Chargers in Brazil. The Chiefs are keeping up with the AFC West, trying to get back on top of the division they've had under lock for so long. Next week, the Chiefs will face the LV Raiders at Arrowhead, a team with a 2-4 record in the tournament and one of Travis Kelce's favorite praise. Kelce's yardage against the Raiders is the highest of his career against any single opponent, even surpassing Tony Gonzalez's previous record against the Raiders. He averages nearly 72 receiving yards per game against the Raiders. Demonstrating consistent production, Kelce has scored a touchdown in approximately half of the games he has played against the Raiders. Recent performances: last 2 years 2023-2025 for games 28 receptions, 293 yards, and 1 touchdown. With the return of Rashee Rice, the Chiefs' offense will be truly something to watch.